my topic is going to be Ramadan. Oh gosh. Okay, but before I get into it, I guess I'd like to start by thanking Hamid for volunteering me for the talk this week. Yeah, I'm not being facetious. I'm just, it's really been nice kind of putting this together, and it's also kind of helped me, I don't know, connect more with some things I might have forgotten along the way. But with that being said, I'd also like to thank those who knew I was fasting and tried to rescue me from this. I really appreciate that, so shame on you, Hamid. I'm joking. So first off, I guess let's talk about why I'm giving my talk on Ramadan. Next time, I promise it'll be on zombie awareness or something like that. But like I kind of have hinted towards, I'm Muslim. So that means I practice a religion known as Islam. It means submission or surrender, but it's derived from the word for peace, which is salam. So you're probably wondering how I came to this religion. It was by way of a special friend of mine, and I just kind of always noticed myself wanting to be more like this person. So I started to learn more and more about the religion, and as I did, it kind of enticed me to, go ahead and convert. So now I'm married to this person. And I'm sure everybody's heard of like the radical Islamist groups around the world that do crazy stuff and all that. So I just wanted to say, you don't have to worry about your cars out in the parking lot. You don't have to worry that there's going to be an explosion. And if it does happen, it's not by my hands. What is Ramadan? Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. It's also known as the Hijri calendar. It's lunar-based, so it goes off of the lunar cycle. The months of the calendar start at the new moon at the first sight of the waxing crescent here. So that's, if you ever hear of people saying, oh, I don't know if Ramadan starts on like this day or this day, it's because they're waiting to sight the new crescent coming out. And years are counted since the Prophet Muhammad's immigration from Mecca to Medina in 622 AD. This is also known as the Hijra. On July 16th of that year, AH1 started, and AH means Anno Hijri, or the year of the Hijra. The current year is 1435 AH, and it runs from about November 3rd in 2013 until October 23rd of this year. The Hijra, or Islamic calendar, is about 11 days shy of the Gregorian calendar, and therefore Ramadan moves back about somewhere around 11 days each year. So this year is pretty close to the summer solstice, so the longest days of the year, which kind of makes the fasting aspect harder, which I'll get into next year. Finally, Ramadan, that was the year when the first verses of the Quran were actually revealed. So that's the significance of it and why it's so special. Well, part of why it's so special. Okay, so fasting. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So you can think of these as like 5 basic traits or 5 basic mandatory acts that every Muslim has to do. They are the Shahada, or the declaration of faith, just saying that that's your faith. Salah, which would be 5 daily prayers. Zakat, which is charity, so just giving charity, which is really big in Ramadan, actually, because it's said that all of your good deeds are multiplied during the month. Siyam, which is fasting, which is the fasting during Ramadan, which is what I'm taking part in right now. And then Hajj, which is the pilgrimage to Mecca, where you actually go over there, if you're able within your life to do so. Okay, so fasting. One of the pillars of Islam is fasting during Ramadan. So I'll kind of take you through what defines that for us. Fasting starts at the first twilight before sunrise, and it ends right whenever the sun dips below the horizon, known as dawn to dusk, or also Fajr and Maghrib. So when we're fasting, that means we can have no food, no water or drinks, no smoking, no sexual intercourse or lustful thoughts, no arguing or fighting, no cursing, no backbiting or gossiping. So you're not supposed, and this includes things like, I guess backbiting, gossiping, just trying not to talk about other people when they're not around, I guess. But there are exceptions to this, which would be children before puberty. They don't have to fast. If you're sick, you don't have to fast. If you're old and it would affect your health, of course, you wouldn't have to. Nursing mothers, and also if you're traveling, you don't have to as well. But if, say you're sick or you're traveling, you actually do have to make those days up later on in the year, whenever it's convenient for you. Okay, so why? Why do we do this? Why do we fast all month long? Well, it increases your faith. It's recommended to actually, read more of the Quran, to, increase your prayer, your charity, all of these things during the month. So in turn, it increases your faith. And there we go, on to the next one. Increase your charity, kindness, patience, and forgiveness. It also helps you to relate more closely to the poor and the hungry. I know for me, being extremely thirsty and hungry throughout the day makes me think about more of people that are starving around the world and what they must be going through, not just during this month, but all year long, even dying of starvation. So next, I'll talk about Eid al-Fitr. And what this is it is the festival at the end of Ramadan. This year, it will be July 29th, give or take. Remember, we talked about that. There's always a conflict every year on every Muslim calendar and website you can go to that will go back and forth about, does it really start this day or does it really start that day? So it marks the end of Ramadan. And Eid al-Fitr means festival of breaking the fast. So you are not permitted to fast that day. There are certain days in Islam that are not permitted to fast, and this is one of those. And then the common greeting for Eid, if any of you would like to say it on that day, if you can remember, is Eid Mubarak. It just means blessed Eid. Okay. Oh, gosh. Well, that one just kind of came up there. But I guess I didn't put that one in there. But Ramadan etiquette. So since it's up there, we'll talk about it. Now, we're fasting, so our breath is going to be a little bad. So if I stand a couple feet away from you when I talk to you, halitosis. It's probably in your best interest. Things to try and avoid. This is, more specifically in the workplace. It would be things like lunch meetings, as I would be sitting there just staring at food the whole time, trying not to think about it, and I probably wouldn't get much out of the meeting at that point. Social events and parties, that would be, since it does move back 11 days every year around that, things like the hike, there would be no way that I could do that while fasting. So those types of things are just something to maybe keep in mind. And then things to remember, I guess this is just, the most special month in the year for Muslims. And we're tired, so please be patient with us. We haven't eaten in a while. So common greetings during Ramadan are Ramadan Mubarak, which is Blessed Ramadan, or Ramadan Kareem, which means generous Ramadan, or giving. And that sums up Ramadan.